when we're working with the quantum field, we're tapping into infinite possibilities. If we try and tag it or name it, we're really limiting its potential. So it's no time, no space. Sessions are usually online about 90 minutes, and it's all about macro healing in micro time. And the first thing that I always tell people is there's nothing really to heal, you guys. We're already whole, perfect, and complete. What we're doing with quantum healing, we're bringing you back to your natural state, which is pure light, pure abundance, pure bliss, pure love. Like your soul is pure light, pure love. But what happens is throughout our whole life, we're getting programs, right? We're getting limiting beliefs put on us. We're getting blockages and distortions in our field.
Time to level up a few thousand degrees with a Lava Hot podcast and host Joseph Connell Jr. You'll hear from ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things, from tech startup CEOs and marketing professionals to authors, investors, and sales trainers. This show will be packed with information to help you level up in life or business, taking you from on fire up to lava hot. Get ready to burn this mother down.
Hello and welcome to the Lava Hot Podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Connell. Today I have an individual coming from really a variety of different places. She started out in Australia, navigated to Canada, and is now in Mexico, I believe. Correct, Karen?
Yes, I'm in Cabo San Lucas. Nice and sunny down here.
Yeah, I'm extremely jealous being up here in cold Maryland. Real quick, before I start diving in and start asking her a bunch of questions about the things that she does, let me just give you a quick background. So Karen Louise is an Australian who now lives in Mexico. Her previous background includes retail management, nutrition, hospitality, and now her line of work is in health and wellness and quantum healing and coaching. I definitely want to get a little bit more into the meat and potatoes of exactly what quantum healing is, and then certainly the coaching side. 3.5 years ago, the universe showed her she was living a misaligned life. She had a lot of sudden changes in her life, forcing her to rebuild her life and align in ways. That is where her deep inner work journey started. She turned her pain into a powerful message and now empowers people to overcome their limiting beliefs, healing their past traumas, getting their energy right, and raising your vibrations so that you are unstoppable and go after all of your desires. I tell you what, after that little intro right there, I feel like I need some realignment. just to be clear. Thank God I've got a great editor. But Karen, let me just say, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here. I'm super excited to have a chat today.
Yep, absolutely. So I want to start with your background. So I'm going to go back before what occurred 3 years ago. Then we can dive into what happened 3 years ago, and then we can get to where we are now. So if you can, just carry me through your initial background.
Yeah. So I grew up in Perth, Western Australia. I don't know if you guys are in Australia, but it's like so isolated at the southwest. And, my parents divorced at 10. I have got two sisters, and about 19, I did like hospitality. I was doing retail management, and it was okay, but I knew it wasn't like my be all end all career. And then I got the travel bug, like most Australians do, right? I don't know if you know some Australians, but we like to travel. Ended up in Canada, was doing the whole hospitality thing, meeting a ton of people. And then I didn't really return back to Australia. I ended up meeting my former husband, and kind of the rest is history. But I was, serving and bartending. I was working super late nights, so like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was getting tired and burnt out. And I was like, man, something's going to change. Like I wanted to create this freedom lifestyle for myself where I could just go back to Australia for a month and, go hang out with my family and still make an income working online. So that was kind of like my vision and my goal. I wanted more flexibility in my life, but I also was super passionate about health and wellness. I used to have hormone issues and gut issues in the past, which really got me on the track of health and wellness. And I became a nutritionist. So then, I just was working online and was doing the hospitality thing and just wanted more. I knew that I wasn't getting out of my comfort zone. I wanted something different, but I was playing small. I was keeping it safe. And ended up going online and doing affiliate marketing and getting into that sort of space about 6 years ago, and doing nutrition on the side. And then 3.5 years ago, I went through a divorce, really sudden. I moved to a different city all by myself. Didn't have the family support physically. So I had a lot of sudden changes, and I ended up pivoting from that business I was in to a completely different business as well. So within the space of 3 months, divorced, new city, walked away from a multiple six-figure business because I was no longer in alignment with it.
Right.
And that's where things really, really started to get interesting and shifting. And kind of that's where my new pathway started.
Yeah. So when you talk about getting out of your comfort zone, I mean, you got out of, several layers of comfort zone. I'm a big fan of going into action that gets you out of your comfort zone. In fact, my phrase, if you see it back there, is feed the wolf. That's inspired from exactly that, getting out of your comfort zone. I believe that, it derives from a phrase from a movie called Miracle, where the head coach really just gets the players to work day in and day out. And the full phrase is the legs feed the wolf, which kind of led to this. And I believe that anytime you get out of your comfort zone, you're feeding the wolf, and you ultimately tame the fear that holds you back. It's just a phrase that's always stuck with me, feed the wolf. And it's just something that I love. Getting out of your comfort zone is something that I've seen recently throughout this last year. Starting a video podcast was something that was very uncomfortable for me, but it was just something that I knew I needed to do because in order for me to go to the next step, which was, going full time with a marketing agency that I had started, being the sole provider, it was very uncomfortable knowing that I've got 4 kids, a wife, and just going that same leap that you're talking about, it's part of that process and part of the journey. It's, sometimes a little nerve wracking, but it's interesting to see a story where, you went through a divorce, changed cities, changed ultimately your income, all of that all at once. It's a very cool story to see. So once you started making that change, now we are at a spot where you're doing one-on-one coaching. I know you have a retreat that's coming up. And in addition to that, one of your main focuses is quantum healing. I have questions about that just because I'm curious about what that is exactly. If you don't mind sharing with me, with the folks listening, what exactly is quantum healing?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we're working with the quantum field, we're tapping into infinite possibilities. If we could try and tag it or name it, we're really limiting its potential.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no time, no space. Sessions are usually online, about 90 minutes. And it's all about macro healing in micro time. And the first thing that I always tell people is there's nothing really to heal, you guys. We're already whole, perfect, and complete. What we're doing with quantum healing, we're bringing you back to your natural state, which is pure light, pure abundance, pure bliss, pure love. Like your soul is pure light, pure love. But what happens is throughout our whole life, we're getting programs, right? We're getting limiting beliefs put on us. We're getting blockages and distortions in our field that keeps us in contraction, which we're not in expansion, right? We're either in contraction or expansion. You can't be in both. So, right. I love inner child healing as well. From the ages of 0 to 8, your chakras are completely wide open. So you're getting programmed from society, from TV, from your parents, from your family. And it's no one's fault. It's just what happens, right? Right. And it could be like the money issues, or money doesn't grow on. How many times have we heard, money doesn't grow on trees from the family, or money's bad, or money's hard to make. And these beliefs get really programmed on a deep, deep level. Or maybe you got picked on at school, or you just don't feel good enough, or you feel really shy, or you don't feel safe, right? These can all, that's the core wound. And what can happen in your adult life that can they can start coming up in your everyday walking reality. So basically, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs that they can't stay consistent. They can't show up powerfully online. They're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of being seen. They can't fully express themselves because what do people say? What are people going to say? And that all kind of stems back to that inner child wound. Is that landing, making sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So with quantum healing, we're getting to the core wound of what's actually really, really going on, right? There's so many personal development programs out there. They're great, but a lot of it's strategy, or a lot of it's just like the surface level stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But we've got all this stuff running underneath the surface that we're even we're unconscious to. We don't even know what's running underneath the surface until we get to that core wound, and then we rip it out. So you have that long lasting change, if that makes sense. I always describe it as like there's a bush, like a tree, and a lot of people just programs to just trim the leaves, right? And that's going to grow back.
Right.
What we do, we actually get to the root, and we're ripping it out so that you can have that instant, long-lasting change. So, yeah, I work with so many different people. It's just beautiful to see them shift, like instantly. Their frequency shifts, and it really helps to restore your body's natural ability to heal as well. It can really rejuvenate and regenerate your entire body. But quantum healing, there's, like we always say, disclaimer that it's not here to treat medical conditions or, you know, heal any diseases. But, you know, when you're open and available, I've seen like magic and miracles can happen if you're not blocking it, right? If you go in with a skeptic energy or like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, then what you put out and what you give is what you're going to get back out. But yeah, it can like really help heal like wounds or triggers or traumas, just break through from like unhealthy cycles that you're like looping around in, like old patterns, procrastination, distraction, like I said, inner child healing, so that you can really move forward with your life with ease, right? Without having all this stuff constantly coming up and stopping you from staying really small, right? There's so many people out there that have all these incredible gifts to share, but they're just afraid because of past childhood trauma or any trauma, to be completely honest.
Yeah. So you hit on one that, you know, it's interesting. When I say I started this show as a way to get out of my comfort zone, I had heard similar, you know, talk track of what you're talking about there, where I think we've all heard that public speaking is like the greatest fear. Next to death is like public speaking. And when I look back throughout my life, there were like time periods like in school where I had to do presentations where like I just failed miserably. Like I just bombed the presentation. And it's weird how our bodies can almost go back to the reactions that we were feeling in those moments. Do you know what I'm saying there?
Absolutely. Because what actually happens is we store all of our traumas in our cells, in our muscles as memory, right? In our organs. So it's actually a deep, deep cellular level. That's why it's so important to get to the core so we can heal it and shift it. And like that, I use the physical body a lot. I'm very much about embodiment. A lot of, you know, mindset work is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Like self-belief, mindset, reprogramming your subconscious mind is so key. But if we only use that, if we're only using our mind and we're not actually getting to the physical body and shifting it at a cellular level, that's where I got that massive rapid shift, because I'm working on every layer of your being, not just your mental, emotional, physical, energetic as well. And when you have all those four working in harmony, holy heck, it can be just pure magic. And I've worked with so many people that had, you know, the public speaking, even when I was younger, I was just like petrified to even do any presentation. I remember just worrying about it for like a month before I didn't even have to do it. So it's so powerful stuff how our bodies remember that stress, right? It's incredible.
Yeah. So, you know, I'll share my little tip that I tend to do just before I get on to every episode. And I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, but what I tend to do is I jump in place. Something that I stole from Mr. Tony Robbins. I kind of like, you know, do some incantations, a little tap of the chest, just something to kind of like get my body in like movement just before I go. The other tip that I have, and this could be good, bad, and indifferent, but every time I record an episode, I send it to Brooke, who just handles all the back end. She sends it to the editor. They take care of everything. She uploads it. And then I have a publisher that will also upload it on different platforms. So I never have to see it. That was a little trick that I realized from a lot of digital creators like Grant Cardone, is that most of the time when he records something, and don't get me wrong, that guy records a ton of his own stuff and he uploads it, but there's a lot that he records that it's other people recording and they just upload it and publish it. And he never even has to look at it. I felt like that was like a little bit of like the secret sauce, where if you're not even looking at it, you're uploading it. And this was something that I learned from them as well. You're not uploading it for you. You're uploading it for whoever happens to hear it at that particular time. and you just
Oh,
roll with it. Yeah, it was,
I love that.
but
That's beautiful.
yeah, the little hack that got me started was just that. I hired somebody to just do all the editing and uploading, and I didn't really have to pay attention to it, because what happens, I think, when people first start down a journey, let's say it's creating content online, or it's, they want to do TikTok or whatever it is, they'll sit there and they'll watch that video they just recorded. It's a 30-second long video. They'll spend 2 hours watching it and critiquing it. And, my hair doesn't look quite right, or the lighting's a little off. 100 different excuses on why they don't upload, instead of
Oh my
just
gosh.
hitting
I've,
publish.
I've also learned, I used to do that before when I first started my business, but now like I used to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go. And I would just like press the live button, or I would just press, okay, I'm posting, and like just be done with it, because we get into that perfectionism, right? And that's all sabotage, really. That's just self-sabotage. So I was like, why am I self-sabotaging myself so much?
You're absolutely right. Yep. So I'm curious. I shared a few of my little tips, but let's say, just for the public speaking side of things, having coached people, what are some of the things that you would encourage them to do to try to get them, maybe ready to roll, ready to start hitting record and hitting publish?
Yeah. I really like that whole chess thing. But something that I do is I envision myself 15 minutes out of already finished the successful video, and how it will feel, what it went like. And I tap into that, which has helped me a lot as well. But I also have learned along the way that it's not about us, really. Right. When we make it about us, it's selfish to play small, obviously, because there's so many people out there that need to hear our message, or need that download or that inspiration today. And when we care so much about how we feel, or how uncomfortable we feel, I feel like I'm not serving to my full potential, if that makes sense. So that's 100%. Something that's me. Like, it's not about me, it's about my mission in humanity, and if I can just help 1 or 2 people a day with something that they see on Instagram or whatever, then that makes me feel good. And I feel like I'm making a difference. But if I was to make it all about me and how uncomfortable I felt, or how nervous I felt, then I'm not really stepping up and serving my mission, basically, is what I've kind of ingrained into myself.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And it, very similar to, what I said a few minutes ago, where if, when you upload something, you're not doing it for you. It's, whatever you record it, or if you're about to give a speech, whatever it is, it's not for you. You already know it. You already know what it is that you're about to talk about. It's really for people that you can, deliver that message to, that might not be, in maybe the same place that you are, or might have the same insights that you might have. And, you're absolutely right. I think that you hit the nail right on the head. I'm going to tell my editor, we got to chop that block out. That's going to be a perfect video to be able to share as like a little intro, I think. Yep.
So one other thing that's just coming through is, like, when I first started doing my online business, I remember my mentor saying, the thing that you're the most scared to do is the thing that you need to do the most. And at that time, it was when live videos just came out. And I was just like, it was like almost 7 years ago now. I was like, I can do live videos. Like, what? And I remember doing a 30-day live video challenge. And guys, if I can come across my first video, I will share it and you can all have a laugh at me. But like, I remember just doing it, like shaking and so uncomfortable, and just like, I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, so awkward. But like, I just took action, and it was so imperfect. Like, always say, take imperfect action, and just, if you move the needle 2% a day, 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%, by the time the end of the year, like, wow, guys, you have outdone yourself, right? Don't try and make these massive changes all at once. It's just 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%, because then it's not so overwhelming, and you like throw everything away and be like, I can't do it anymore, right? So you just gradually increase it. But challenge yourself to do a 30-day live video challenge, or grab a buddy and do a Reels challenge, or just start getting yourself environments where you can start speaking. So maybe you do a Facebook Live with a friend and you interview each other, so it's not so like scary, or you just get yourself into places where you can start speaking. Maybe it's on a team Zoom, like maybe you're in a company where you can start sharing some tips, and it's a team Zoom, and start just getting it that way. There's less daunting.
Yeah. And, if you're in a spot, let's say if you're a business owner, I definitely recommend, there's a lot of different companies that you can hire out there. Our agency kind of does this, where we'll come in and we'll be behind the camera. We'll be asking the questions, trying to probe for the content. A lot of it will be premeditated. But if you don't have that, just find a workout partner is what I like to call it. Find another business owner that has like this interest in creating, if it's creating video content, for instance, work out with them, have them behind the camera. So you're not talking directly to a camera, you're talking to, you know, John, who's just behind the camera, and it makes it feel a little bit more like a natural conversation. It makes it feel so that it can be uncomfortable sometimes just talking to a camera. Eventually you get so used to it that you just continue to do it. But no, I definitely love that. So I want to pivot over because we talked a little bit about the quantum healing, and I think that's a great segue into the one-on-one coaching and then into the retreat that you have coming in January. I believe the dates were January 20th to the 27th. If you can talk to me about the one-on-one coaching, because I'm curious, you know, for people that may be interested in the coaching side of things. Can you share with me how that process starts, how they, you know, even reach out to you, all that jazz?
Yeah, absolutely. Is this going to be for a limited time? Because in 2023, I'm going to move over to more of a group coaching so I can serve more people,
sure,
you know, with less time. But yeah, basically you have like 30 days access to me. I'm in your back pocket. We communicate on like Telegram or WhatsApp. But we'd start off by doing a 30-minute powerful laser coaching session where I can see where your blocks are, where's your gap, what's holding you back. And then I will bring you into an aligned strategy to move forward. And then basically whatever your intention is for the month, whether you're wanting to work on your business or your mindset or your energetics or your self-love or your money, whatever intention it is, it can be basically holistic abundance if you want, because really that encompasses so many things. But yeah, we're going to peel back the layers, and you have full access to me to ask me any questions, pick my brain, and you can even throw in some quantum healing sessions in there as well if you really, really want to like accelerate things at quantum speed. But yeah, just really there to support people through it. And you know, when those questions come through, you have me like voice messaging, and I can voice message you back on an aligned strategy so that you can take that action forward.
Very cool. Very cool. Share with me the retreat itself, where it's located, you know, the whole deal.
Yeah. So it's going to be in Ubud in Bali, magical Bali. I don't know if you guys have ever been there before, but it's one of the most powerful vortexes of the world, just its frequency itself. I've been to Bali a couple of times, and I've been wanting to do retreats for about 3 or 4 years. I remember like people that ask me, what's my big picture vision? Like, what do you want to be doing? I'm like hosting health and wellness and healing retreats all around the world in like the most magical places. And then I went to Peru in April, and I did a 9-day releasing into abundance retreat, and it was with plant medicine, and I went super, super deep. And I remember just asking, my intention was like, what's my next step? Where am I going from here? What's my vision? And she just kept showing me, I just kept getting retreats. It's just all coming to me. So I came back, took massive aligned action and got all this stuff organized. And then I was just like, okay, Bali. And this is where, when you get those messages and those downloads, act on them. Right. So many people get all this stuff and they're like, don't do anything with it. But like, I act on it. Like my partner, Lee, has been going to Bali for about 20 years. So he's very familiar with all the beautiful spots. And yeah, we booked this beautiful brand new villa. It's 7 magical nights it's going to be 8 to 10 women. We might have a few extra spots, but basically it's called Soul Purification and Illumination Retreat in Bali. So my vision was really releasing everything that is blocking and stopping you from illuminating all your magical gifts and really claiming back your power and stepping into your full potential and creating that life that you know that you can create and deserve. So there's going to be a whole bunch of different things, quantum flow activations led by me every day. So that's a physical practice using sound breath work. And it's here to just bring you back to your natural state. It works on every layer of your being. So it's a physical activation, working with a Balinese healer for 2 days. So he's going to do a flower reading to see what needs to be shifted. And then we're going to go to the river, and he's doing a full-on cleanse of past lifetimes, any sickness, anything that's blocking and stopping you. So you're going to get him for 2 full days. And this Balinese healer, he's not online. You can't really find him anywhere. He's very exclusive. It's only because Lee, my partner, worked with him 10 years ago. And he said within 6 months, his life had completely changed. His business exploded, his relationships completely changed, his money started flowing. So Lee's had personal experience with this Balinese healer. And then we're going to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to do lots of powerful workshops around money, relationships with money, expanding your blueprint around money, because we all have a cap around money, right? So we're going to go deep into that. We're going to get real and raw about where you are in your life and how we're going to shift you into that next level. We're going to be doing pineal gland activations to activate your intuition. And oh my gosh, so many magical activations that got planned. Lots of quantum healing as well, sessions while I'm there.
Wow.
But also time to recharge and rejuvenate your nervous system and calm it down. There's like a beautiful pool. We're having Balinese healer massages coming through, and lots of organic, fresh foods, and yeah, total bliss. And I'm really, really excited. So transforming from the inside out, right? It always starts from within, getting to the core, and then, leaving with a whole new frequency, a whole new vibration, less baggage, right? Just clarity on your steps forward.
Very cool. I'm not surprised that my wife reached out to you, because well, everything that you just said has kind of been like her, like what she's been dialed into, I guess would be the best way to say it, for like the last 6 months to a year. It's like this type of conversation. And I can guarantee you, once she watches this episode, if she hasn't seen that you have this retreat coming, she's probably gonna be like, I want to go to this retreat. So I have a feeling she's going to end up saying something to me about it.
That's so funny.
Yep. So if I saw correctly, you also have a Facebook community. Is that correct? Or is that exclusive to individuals that you coach? Or is that kind of like an open platform?
Open platform. Yeah, I just started a couple of months ago. It's called Align by Design. It's where I share, energetic tips, lifestyle tips, mindset, lots of manifestation tips, money hacking tips, really empowering. I'm all about helping people activate holistic abundance in every area of their life. You're already abundance, right?
Yep.
But what happens is we get all these blocks, like I said before, and we give our power away. So it's really just empowerment and realizing that you're already whole and complete. So yeah, I do masterclasses in there. Last time I did a quantum flow masterclass where we're biohacking your nervous system, so that you can expand your capacity to receive. So that's in there. Always welcome. It's positive, empowering, really beautiful community that I'm really excited about.
Yeah. I love these type of online communities. I think it gives people an opportunity to at least get introduced to the type of maybe content that you're putting out there, some of the practices that you teach. I'm a big fan of the online communities. At some point I need to start one of my own. Just haven't gotten that far. But before we get to the end of the show, I always like to give each guest an opportunity to kind of share their website, social media, all that jazz. If you don't mind, just share out there where you would like people to go follow you, whether that's on a specific app like Facebook or Instagram. It might be this online community, TikTok, whatever you have.
Yeah, absolutely. So Karen Louise is on Facebook. I actually had my Instagram disabled at like 13K in January. So I've just started over a new Instagram. So it's _Karen_Louise is where you can find me there. Mm-hmm. And then my website is www.thekarenlouise.com, where you can find all of my services, bookings, all information about the retreat is in there as well. But yeah, send me a private message. I always say my heart's open, my inbox is open, always happy to help anyone out and answer any questions that you guys might have.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those listening, if you go over to the website, it's lavahotpodcast.com. I'll have a full profile laid out for Karen. That way you can go there, just hit the little search column, search her name, and right from there, you'll be able to access, But if you're hearing this, that means the audio has been uploaded, the video has been uploaded, so you can access that there. You'll see her full profile, and I'll make sure to have links to every one of her social media platforms, including the online community. I'm sorry, Karen, what was the name of that community one more time?
Align by Design.
Align by Design. That was easy enough for me to remember.
Yeah.
Align by Design. I'll make sure that we have a link to that community there as well. That way, if you're interested in any aspect of that, whether it's just following her on social media, want to check the website, or you want to join the group, or if you hear this in time and there's space available for the retreat, that may be available as well. But Karen, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on and cut it up with me here on the Lava Hot podcast. And I look forward to connecting with you in the future. And I hope that this retreat that you have in Bali is going to be, I hope it's a huge success. My gut tells me it's going to be. You look like the type that will make things happen one way or the other. And with that, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much, Joseph. I've had a blast, and I'm so proud of you for getting out of your comfort zone and doing this beautiful podcast. You're helping so many people, so thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Okay, take care.
Yep.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Lava Hot Podcast with Joseph Connell Jr. Do you want to level up your business in 2022? Then visit us